There's so much talk around AI models, chat bots, large language models. But there's some important things too that should be talked about but are not. Let's just say a nonprofit sends out an email to its a donor list of maybe 5,000. That email has a statistic in it that basically promotes how well the nonprofit is doing. The problem is that statistic is a lie. It's a hallucination created by the AI model they chose to use. That email should have been checked, should have been proofed before it went out, but it was not. So what do you do to prevent that from happening in your business? Anytime you're integrating AI into your business, whether it be the marketing, the operations, distribution, or every piece of the business, you're also introducing some risks. But those risks can be mitigated. They can even be addressed before whatever AI tool or model you're using is even deployed. And you can do that by using a simple framework, one I call FAST-PI. FASTPI. The F is for fairness. And this is especially true in those industries like banking, insurance, finance, and marketing too. Depending on the types of data and how the data is fed, your AI tool or model could make biased decisions. So you want to ensure that the data as well as the output are fair. In other words, there is no bias in either. A is for accountability. Who will be held accountable? Who, and I do mean who, not necessarily a committee or a they. There needs to be at least one person that customers, someone within the business should be able to call on. A name, one person should be responsible for looking into, investigating, and monitoring throughout how the AI model is operating. So that's F, that's A, that's fairness, accountability, and now safety. The AI model that you are using or the AI tool that you're using, could it potentially cause harm? And I'm talking societal harm, financial harm, psychological harm. That needs to be known in advance. It needs to be tested and documented before your deployment of AI. And now T for transparency. Will you be honest? That's the best way to put it, or transparent about your AI use, whether it is an image generation, video generation, in the correspondence or the communications that you're creating. Will you be upfront and honest when AI is making decisions, important decisions, especially when someone is applying for a loan or for a grant? We've got FASTP. P is for privacy. And you can add security to that. When it comes down to data, private data that's being used to train the AI models, how is it being collected? What happens to the data? Is it data that's outputted, then shared with a third party? You should decide early how privacy plays into the implementation of AI in your business. FASTP, and finally I. I is for inclusion. Inclusion means developers, when they are creating these AI models, they consider everyone. In other words, not just a select group of people have access to the models, or they only benefit a select group of people. They should consider everyone, meaning across different ages, genders, abilities, and backgrounds. That also means those people who happen to have maybe a certain handicap, whether they're blind or deaf, they too have access to the models and their outputs. So, to wrap it all up, should the nonprofit stop using AI? No. They should figure out how to properly or responsibly integrate AI into their operations. They should figure out who should be responsible, who is their go to, who's the person they call on in the nonprofit, or this is true for any business. So when something goes wrong, they have a person to call on who will be responsible for oversight, the human in the loop element, who will monitor the AI as it's being used in various phases of the operations and various departments within the nonprofit. And what are the guardrails and the protocols so that when something does go wrong with using the AI model, they know exactly what steps to take. And those steps are known to everybody in the nonprofit. So if you have more questions, if you have any elements to add to the conversation, please put it below in the comments. And if you want to reach out to me directly, just look for my email or my website in the description below.